For starters, they can do passive candidate recruiting at a scale that's never been possible before. And when we talk about passive candidates, we're talking about people that aren't actively looking for work, who more often than not can be the most qualified person for a role. And because those folks are updating their profiles when they're not looking for work, recruiters can search for them and find them and make an ideal fit within their companies. They can also post jobs on LinkedIn, and by virtue of all of the data we have and our relevancy algorithms, we can actually ensure that we're getting the right job in front of the right person and candidate at the right time.
How many people are signing up?
As you mentioned a moment ago, we're at about 175 million members on a global basis. Over 60% of those members are now coming from outside the United States.
Jeff, you've been speaking very passionately about the skills gap, about the fact that we have 3 million job openings, but not the people with the right skills to fill them. What are some of the most important things we can be doing right now to help fill this?
A lot of discussion right now in the country about the unemployment rate, and it's good to see that trending in the right direction at just over 8%. But when you factor in not only the unemployed but the underemployed, those that are in temporary jobs looking for full-time employment, and those marginally attached to the workforce, we have roughly 23 million people, 23 million Americans who are looking for more work. And incredibly, there's roughly 3.7 million available jobs in this country, and that's up roughly 300,000 year over year. And one of the reasons for that, not the exclusive reason, but one of the reasons for that is that the workforce is not necessarily being trained to take the jobs that are available today. And so I think the approach to improving the situation is threefold. One, I think we can do a lot more to improve the education system. And this is not only about educational reform on a generational basis, making sure that we're training the kids of today, who are the workforce of tomorrow, for the jobs that are going to be and not the jobs that once were. It's also about improving vocational training, creating internship programs, and really creating a spirit of innovation around retraining the existing workforce. So I think that's one. I think two, we need to make it easier for people born outside of the United States with unique skills and expertise who are capable of filling these available positions in the United States to get those roles. And one way we can do that is by increasing the supply of H-1B visas and making it easier for people who are studying science and technology to be able to remain in this country after they're graduating from university. These folks, you know, an amazing data point, 40% of the Fortune 500 was founded either by immigrants or the children of immigrants. So it's not just about filling these roles, it's about creating companies that in turn subsequently create economic opportunity for others. And the third and last point is just better use and leverage of technology and technical infrastructure. And I think in this regard, Julius Genachowski, the chairman of the FCC, is doing some great work in terms of trying to evangelize a national broadband plan, which among other things would lead to better technical infrastructure so that more Americans would have access, digital access, to the skills, the knowledge, the expertise they need to get those available positions, and in the process of building out this infrastructure, actually creating jobs as well.
You know, Jeff, I know this week...
Very consistent with our overall strategy in terms of how we create value for our members. A big part of what we do is oriented around professional identity and enabling professionals to represent themselves to the world and find opportunities that way, their experiences, their skills, their ambitions. Another part of what we do is providing unique and valuable business insight, business intelligence you can't find anywhere else by virtue of what's being shared on LinkedIn. People are sharing ideas and opinions, their expertise. And so by enabling what started as roughly 150 professional luminaries on a global basis. The two of you, we'd love to have Joe in there, by the way. The President, Mitt Romney, have posted. Richard Branson, President of the World Bank. These folks are now able to do two things that were never possible before on LinkedIn. The first is creating long-form content, not being limited to just a status update. And the second is we're now enabling these people to be followed by our 175 million members and not have to connect with those members to be able to interact. And so the content and the knowledge that we're seeing shared is really world-class quality. And that's what our members are looking for. These are members that aren't just looking for work. The vast majority of engagement on our site is from members that are looking to be great at the jobs that they're already in. And whether it's Ariana talking about the importance of sleep in terms of overall productivity within an organization, Becky, yourself, and a post about your optimism for the stock market, President of the World Bank talking about what we can do to reduce poverty. This is the kind of knowledge and expertise our members love.
Great.
Jeff, we want to thank you for joining us. And Ariana.